Chapter 21. The Transcendent Powers of the Tathagata. Thereupon the Bodhisattva Mahasattva is equal to the number of particles in the great manifold cosmos, who had emerged from the earth, all in the presence of the Buddha gazed single-mindedly at his face with their palms pressed together, and spoke to the Buddha, saying, O Bhagavath, after the parinirva of the Buddha, we will teach this sutra extensively in the lands of the Bhagavath's separate forms, at the time of his extinction. Why is this? Because we also wish to attain this true, pure, great Dharma, and to preserve, recite, explain, copy, and make offerings to it. Then the Bhagavath manifested his great transcendent powers in the presence of Manjusri and other immeasurable hundreds of thousands of myriads of kois of Bodhisattva Mahasattvas who had long lived in this Saha world, such humans and non-humans as monks, nuns, laymen, and laywomen, devas, nagas, yakas, gandharvas, asuras, garuas, kinnaras, and maharagas. He put out his wide and long tongue, which reached upward to the Brahma world. He emitted innumerable and immeasurable colored rays of light from all his pores, and universally illuminated the worlds of the 10 directions. All the Buddhas sitting on the lion seats under the jeweled trees also put out their wide and long tongues, and emitted immeasurable rays of light in the same way. Sakyamuni Buddha and the other Buddhas under the jeweled trees manifested transcendent powers while fully hundreds of thousands of years passed. After this they drew back their tongues, coughed, and snapped their fingers together in unison. Those two sounds penetrated throughout the various Buddha worlds of the 10 directions, and the earth quaked in 6 ways. Through the transcendent powers of the Buddha, all the sentient beings in these worlds, humans and such non-humans as devas, nagas, yakas, gandharvas, asuras, garuas, kinnaras, and maharagas, saw all the Buddhas sitting on the lion seats under the immeasurable, limitless hundreds of thousands of myriads of kois of jeweled trees in this Saha world. They saw Sakyamuni Buddha sitting on the lion's seat in the jeweled stupa, together with Tathagata Prabhudaratna. They also saw immeasurable, limitless hundreds of thousands of myriads of kois of Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, and the fourfold assembly respectfully surrounding Sakyamuni Buddha. After seeing this, they all rejoiced greatly at having attained this unprecedented experience. At the same time, all the devas spoke loudly while in the air, saying, Beyond these immeasurable, limitless hundreds of thousands of myriads of kois of incalculable worlds, there is a land called Saha. In it is a Buddha called Sakyamuni. For the sake of the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, he now teaches the Mahayana Sutra called the Lotus Sutra, the instruction for Bodhisattvas and treasured lore of the Buddhas. You should rejoice deeply. You should also honor and pay homage to Sakyamuni Buddha. Hearing this voice in the air, all those sentient beings pressed their palms together, faced the Saha world and said, We take refuge in Sakyamuni Buddha. We take refuge in Sakyamuni Buddha. All of them scattered various kinds of flowers, incense, necklaces, banners, canopies, ornaments, jewels, and other beautiful things over the Saha world from afar. All that had been scattered formed together from the 10 directions like a cloud and was transformed into a jeweled screen that covered all the Buddhas. Then the worlds of the 10 directions became pellucid, without obstruction, as if they were one Buddha land. Thereupon the Buddha addressed the great assembly of bodhisattvas, beginning with Vyakritra. The transcendent powers of the Buddhas are as immeasurable, limitless, and inconceivable as this. Yet if I were to use these transcendent powers to teach the benefits of this sutra so that it would be entrusted to you for immeasurable, limitless, hundreds of thousands of myriads of kois of incalculable kalpas, I would not be able to reach the end of these qualities. To sum up, in this sutra, I have clearly revealed and taught all the teachings of the Tathagata, all the transcendent powers of the Tathagata, all the treasure houses of the hidden essence of the Tathagata, and all the profound aspects of the Tathagata. For this reason, after the parinirva of the Tathagata, you should wholeheartedly preserve, recite, explain, and copy it, and practice according to the teaching. Those who accept, recite, explain, and copy it, and practice according to the teaching, in whichever land they may be, in a place where the sutra abides, either in a garden, a forest, under a tree, in a monk's chamber, in a layman's house, in a palace, on a mountain, in a valley, or in the wilderness, in all of these places they should erect and pay homage to a monument. Why is this? Because you should know that these places are the terraces of enlightenment, where all the Buddhas have attained highest, complete enlightenment, where all the Buddhas have turned the wheel of the Dharma, and where all the Buddhas entered parinirva. Thereupon the Bhagavath, wanting to elaborate on the meaning of this further, spoke these verses. The Buddhas, world inspirers, abiding in their great transcendent powers, manifest this immeasurable power in order to gladden sentient beings. Their tongues reach up to the Brahma world and they emit innumerable rays of light from their bodies. They manifest this marvel for those who seek for the Buddha path. The coughing and snapping sounds of the Buddhas are universally heard in the lands of the 10 directions. The earth quakes in 6 ways. Because this sutra can be preserved after the nirvana of the Buddha, all the Buddhas rejoice and manifest. There are measurable transcendent powers. Even if, for immeasurable kalpas, they praise those who preserve this sutra, in order to entrust it, they will not reach the limit of their merit. The qualities of those people are limitless and endless, just like the boundless sky, in the 10 directions. Those who preserve this sutra have already seen me, the Buddha Prabhudaratna, and the various magically created forms, and today they see all the bodhisattvas I have led and inspired up until now. Those who preserve this sutra will gladden me, my magically created forms, as well as the Buddha Prabhudaratna who has entered nirvana. They will also see, gladden, and pay homage to the past and future Buddhas, and those who are present in the 10 directions. Those who preserve this sutra will before long attain the Dharma, the hidden essence, which was attained by the Buddhas seated upon the terrace of enlightenment. Those who preserve this sutra will explain the meaning of the Dharma, the names and phrases, joyfully and with undying vigor, like the wind in the sky that has no obstruction whatsoever. After the parinirva of the Tathagata, they will know the causes and conditions and the sequences of the sutras taught by the Buddha, and will explain the truth in accordance with its meaning. As the light of the sun and moon eliminates the darkness, these people practicing in the world will extinguish the blindness of sentient beings, teaching innumerable bodhisattvas to dwell ultimately in the single vehicle. For this reason, the wise, hearing of the benefits of these merits, should preserve this sutra after my nirvana. Those people will be resolute and will unwaveringly follow the Buddha path.